Hi. Today I'd like to talk about the idea of your employees competing with you. Should you worry about your employees competing with you? Should they sign a non-compete clause? Should you not allow them to take on their own jobs outside of your work? And I firmly believe that the answer to this is no. I'm going to explain in this video why I think that this is short-sighted thinking, and how this short-sighted thinking, which is something that I preach about on all these cell phone repair groups and whatever that I've been getting invited to and banned from recently, is short-sighted thinking is what's going to screw you over. I want to make as much as I can off of this one repair. I don't want this customer to know what my cost on a part is. I don't mind if I make an extra $30 by not telling them that they could have this done by the manufacturer for free. I'm going to make sure that my employee pays for the parts that he breaks. I'm going to make sure that my employee doesn't get business on the side because that one side job he got may have gone to me. And it's all this short-sighted thinking. It's all this bullshit where you're just looking at the loss of $10, the loss of $30 right now, and you're not looking at the big picture. You're not looking at the end of the year and the additional $300,000 of profit you get from having a different strategy. You're not looking at the overall happiness and productivity based on a certain strategy, and that's what I want to get across with this video. So the first things first, in terms of your employees competing with you. First things first, who is your core target demographic? Is your core client a customer who would happily go to somebody's apartment instead of going to a licensed retail store with hundreds of 5-star Yelp reviews because they're $5 cheaper? If that is your core demographic, you're screwed. You're fucked. You have not done your branding right. You have not created a business identity that is worthwhile because somebody is willing to spend $5 less to go to somebody who has no accreditation in an apartment. And I was the guy with the apartment for a long, long time. I'm not shitting on the guy with the apartment. I remember what it's like to be the guy in the apartment who's doing the soldering while his cat is walking by and nuzzling his ankle for food while the customer is waiting, sitting on my bed because I have one room in this very, very small studio shitbox that's half the size of this damn office. And I had to work a lot to gain their trust. I had to work a lot to gain their business away from other reputable places, even reputable places that didn't have parts in stock, that didn't do component repairs, that didn't know what they were doing. And one of the things that I want to tell you is that it took work. So if it doesn't take other people legitimate, honest, hard work to compete with you, that's the first thing that you got to think about. So you have a business. You've had this business for 17 years. You've just trained this young person who started 6 months ago on how to do everything. If that person who you just trained, who has 6 months of experience, can compete with you with 17 years of experience, fundamentally speaking, that's sad. You need to evaluate that. You need to think about that. You need to think about what it is your business should be offering that other people are not going to offer. The second thing that you need to think about is the happiness of your staff. I believe that the more money my staff makes and the more productive they feel, and when they feel like they're building something for themselves in addition to building something for me, that they're going to be happier. If my tech goes home making $7,000 a month instead of $4,000 a month or whatever, I'm just pulling figures out of my ass here. If he's making an extra $3,000 a month, his life's going to be easier. If his life's easier, he's going to have a smile on his face. If he has a smile on his face, that smile and that good feeling is going to be conveyed to everybody who walks through the door. So I'm not just looking at the idea that you may be stealing one client from me right now, or that one person may read your one Craigslist ad for your apartment, which is 20 miles away across the river, and decide to use you instead of me because it's $5 cheaper. I'm not looking at that because that's fucking ridiculous. That is not how the real world works. Somebody is not going to say, you know what? I really was going to go to Rossman Group, but that guy in Secaucus, man, he's $5 cheaper. I'm going to take the PATH train and go. That's not how it works. And the guy that is in his building who sees his little ad with the pull tab sign saying that he fixes laptops and he fixes cell phones, he's not going to come here even though this is an accredited store, even if it's cheaper because it's far away, it's outside his building, it's a different demographic. Again, this is a pull tab sign for somebody in his building. There's a feeling of, there's a neighborly feeling there going on there, and this is a store. He's not, it's just a different base of people. What I'm thinking about is this. I'm thinking about if he has that smile on his face, if he has that skip in his step because he's doing something for himself that he would otherwise not be able to if I was disallowing it, with that skip in his step, how's that going to affect the 30 tickets that come in the door? How's that going to affect the person that calls where I missed a call but he gets it, who works for a school district that wants to send me 300 dead MacBook Airs to fix because they got a contract where they got 6,000 of them and all the kindergartners spilled milk on them? That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking long-term success. I'm not thinking short-term. I'm not thinking inside of my little bubble of losing one customer right now. I'm thinking about the 30 people a day that are walking in. I'm thinking about the 300 or 400 people that are calling in. I'm thinking about all the extra money that happy, motivated, good employees that have good lives, that are not being crapped on by their boss, are going to bring me, that I may have lost out on because I was trying to keep them from making an extra $30 or $60 a week fixing cell phones. That is what I want you to be thinking about. I want you to always be in a long-term mindset. I always want you to be in an overall mindset. I want you to look at the entire picture. You should be thinking in a big picture mindset. You shouldn't be thinking in terms of, oh, I may lose 1 or 2 customers a month because he's getting them, when you don't even know if those people would have came to your business anyway. You should be thinking in a, if I improve his life, if I help him improve his life, if I show him that I'm empowering him, how is that going to affect how he treats my staff? How is that going to affect how he treats my clients? How is that going to affect what he thinks of and how he performs at my business? That's the mindset that I have. That's why when I hired a core staff of good people and I treated them this way, my income literally tripled over a period of 2 years. I don't care that he fixes machines on the side. I sell him parts that you cannot buy on eBay or Amazon or Alibaba at cost. I encourage him to do his repairs here when he's done with the day so that he can use the tools and everything that I have available here. My receptionist decided that she wanted to start doing iPhone repair, and she had this silly smile on her face like I was going to be mad when she decided to buy screens. I took her to my office and she looked like she, oh, I'm going to get yelled at or something. I suggested that she put on her sign that we deal with liquid damage as well, that we deal with liquid damage laptops, not just iPhones or broken screens. And she goes, well, I don't know how to fix that. And I go, well, I'll make you a deal. I will do the repairs for you for $200 if you're not here, or if you sit in the chair next to me and watch and learn something. For every repair where you learn something and you can tell me what you learned, it'll be free. Sadly, I didn't get brought more than 1 or 2 before this idea went down the tubes. But the point is that I'm here to support the staff that I have. I'm not here to compete with them, nor am I here to think and nickel and dime them and think the worst of them, that they're trying to take away my money, that they're trying to suck money out of my business, that they're trying to compete with me and steal from me. I'm here to encourage them. I'm here to watch them gain the same success that I had in life for themselves. I am a confident man. I realize that on an island of 8 million people, that I don't really have to worry about one other person that does the same thing that I do when he lives 20 miles away. Realistically, that's not it. And frankly, any of the people that I hire that are actually smart, that are go-getters, the type of people that I want to hire, the type of people that want to build something with their life, they're the type of people that are going to be thinking in their spare time when they're done with their 8-hour workday, what else can I do for myself? What else can I build for myself? How can I improve my life? Those are the people that I want to hire. I don't want to hire people that are happy with what I give them. I want to hire people who are appreciative of what I pay them. There's a difference. I want to hire people who are appreciative that I pay a better wage than any laptop repair store in a 5-mile radius. But I don't want them to be happy with that. I want them to be happy when they have that and then some and so much more for themselves that they have built without my help. That's what I want them to have. I want them to strive for that. And if I have people that don't strive for that, it's going to show in their daily work. It's going to show in how they deal with people. It's going to show in how they do the jobs. It's going to show in their performance. The other guy who works here says, I am my own biggest competitor. I try to figure out every single day, how can I do today? How can I do today? How can I do what I did yesterday faster today? How can I take that 17-minute process and make it 14 minutes? How can I say, I did 20 tickets yesterday. How can I do 28 today? I did 28 yesterday. How can I do 35 today? Those are the people that you want. Those are the people that produce for you. And the thing is, you also got to look at your business. You also have to look at how magnetic your work environment is. If your people are looking to leave and go somewhere else when they pay the exact same amount of money, and that's why you need them to sign a non-compete, because a couple of your people did that. Why are they doing that? Why are people leaving? Why is it that when they have one little tussle with you, they decide to say, fuck you, I quit, and move to the next block to the other person who does it and take their skill set with them? What is it about your work environment that is not magnetic? Having employees sign an agreement that says that they cannot work somewhere else within 1 or 5 years of having worked for you if they're in the same business. So if you fix cell phones and you hire somebody to fix cell phones and he quits, he can't work at any other cell phone repair store for 5 years. I don't even think that should be legal, honestly. I think that that's just so fundamentally wrong. I think that it's like saying, okay, you're going to break up with me. Therefore, if you break up with me for 5 years, you can't date any other men. You should be an interesting enough person that she wants to go out with you. And you should be an interesting and supportive enough employer that your employees actually want to stay there. You shouldn't be creating these little ties that keep them stuck to you. Rather, you should have a workplace that is magnetic enough that they don't want to leave. And that's what I try to get across to people. It's this short-sighted thinking, this short-sighted mindset, and I hear it every day. If you want to have employees compete with you, that's great. Well, I want to stay in business, so I'm not going to do that. And they say it with that snarky, bullshit-ass attitude, and I've been hearing this on and off for the past 9 months that I've seen it discussed. And I want to see their QuickBooks statements. I want to see the QuickBooks statements of these businesses. I want to see net profit. I want to see gross earnings. I want to see it and compare. I really do, because I want to see just how much more money you're making than me because you don't empower your employees. I want to see just how much better they're doing, how much they're saving from all the clients that are not going to their employees' little side businesses. How many school clients that you have? How many school clients do you have that are asking you to buy 500 or 1,000 screens a month? How many refurbishing centers do you have that are sending you 50 to 100 motherboards per month? How many small repair shops that don't do component level repair are sending you 10 or 15 machines a week to fix? How many walk-in customers do you have a day that you fix stuff for? I mean, really, how much better are you doing than me with this outlook that your employees are there for the fundamental purpose of helping you and not helping themselves? I want to see it. I want to see the practical ramifications of that line of thinking. But I probably never will, because again, I Google the businesses where I have arguments with people who do this. I Google the businesses. I look them up and I see where they are. And it makes sense. The places that don't empower their employees are the places where I call, and I'm a receptionist that doesn't know anything, and I'm getting put on hold for 10 minutes, and you're outsourcing everything because you don't do it in house, and you have 3-day turnaround for a keyboard repair, and you have to order parts with standard overnight on a regular basis because you don't stock anything. It's the places that don't evolve. It's the places that are still in this small thinking mindset. And it kills me. It really does, because I know that this one works. I know it's arrogant to say that, but I know that it works. I know that it works because I've had this mindset with employees for about 3 years now. And I've watched the results with my business as a result of having them. And it really does work. You know, there are days where I don't feel like talking to clients in a certain way. I can be charming. I can listen to them. I can make them feel like they're being listened to. I can make them feel like I actually understand what it is they want, even if they don't know how to get it across. But there are those some days where just something's not going right for me, and I do the wrong thing, and I just let it out. And my employees will actually walk in front of me and save face and do everything that's necessary so that that person feels good doing business here. They'll see that I may be about to make a mistake, and instead of let me make the mistake, or instead of go, I'm sure he's got it, they may just watch for an extra 15 seconds to make sure that I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing. They're always watching my back, even when I don't necessarily deserve it, or when it doesn't necessarily seem like I need it. And that's the kind of thing that you're just not going to get when you see your employees as slaves instead of as human beings that want to accomplish everything that you've accomplished in life. So stop looking at them like they're slaves. Stop looking at them like they're little puppets that are just there to make you money. Look at them like they're people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't forgive them. I'm not saying that you should allow them to screw up left and right, nor am I saying you should allow them to take money out of your back pocket. All I'm saying is you should look at them as people just like you, who want to accomplish something with their life just like you, who want to be independently successful just like you. You should be humbled by the fact that this person is looking at you and saying, man, I want to be just like my boss someday. That should put a smile on your face. You shouldn't see that as competition. And if you see that as competition, if you see it in a manner where it makes you feel weird or insecure, like you're going to lose money or like it's a real threat to you, I want you to take a good hard look at what you've built and tell me if you really think it's worthwhile. The other thing you have to think about is how your projections actually come true as a result of you projecting them. I don't mean just I'm going to treat my staff like slaves and they are going to do crappy work for me. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I make you sign a non-compete. I talk every day about how I don't want you to have business on the side. I talk every day about how you're betraying me if you do work for others. It's funny how when you treat them like that on a regular basis, they actually don't care if they steal your clients. You actually create it. It's kind of like when you're dating somebody and you're always talking to them about how you think they're cheating. And you're always asking who they're texting. And you're always looking over their shoulder. And you're always wondering what they're doing on their spare time. And you're always talking about it. And then that person cheats. It's funny how you kind of will that to happen with your own negativity. So the people that I have on staff, they actually get concerned if they see that somebody that has messaged them is somebody who's been a client here. They will just delete the message. It's the kind of thing that you're not going to get when you treat your staff like they are stealing from you. If you treat your staff like they are trying to steal your clients, it's funny how you're going to will that to happen. It's funny how they're not going to care when there's actually an opportunity to steal your clients because you are already acting in a manner where you assume that that is their behavior. I openly encourage my staff to have business outside of work. I want them to make money outside of work. I want them to build their own businesses outside of work. And as a result of it, they're actually going to feel a little bad if a conflict of interest comes up. Even if I don't mention it, even if I don't care, even if I don't care when I should care, they're going to care a little bit because I never made it an issue, because I always assumed the best of them. When you assume the best of people, it's very funny how they often rise to the occasion. And it's also very funny how when you assume the worst of people, how they always fall. And the other thing about your work environment, in addition to how magnetic it is because of how you've set it up, how you treat people, you also have to look at your goals. You also have to look at whether your goals are something that other people can get in line with, something that other people are going to think about when they're done with work, something that other people are going to work towards. One of the things that I like to do here, I want to make it seem like a video game. I want to make it seem like David versus Goliath. I want to make people legitimately excited when we achieve something that we shouldn't be achieving with the amount of staff, the amount of money, and the amount of resources we have. When I do get that school client to send me a few hundred machines, when I do get that person to stop going to the other refurbishing center and start coming here, that should be something that's exciting to my staff. I try to set it up so that every single one of these successes is something that's exciting to them. I want them to feel like they're part of the David versus Goliath. I want them to feel like they're in the trenches every single day, like they're doing something exciting, like they're building something exciting. It shouldn't just be like they're coming to work. And you have to figure out how to make that for your staff so that they want to stay with you. They need to feel like you're taking over the world. They need to feel like you want to take over the world so that they're going to want to do that with you. And I know it's really hard to come up with ways to do this in something as simple as cell phone repair because we're not paramedics. We don't save people. We're not a sports team that, billions upon billions of people are cheering every year. We're just technicians who solder or put little screws into phones. But somehow you have to find a way to make that exciting to the people that work for you so that they want to get on board and stay with you, even if another store is offering them a few more bucks. Even if they want to do stuff on their own, they still want to come to work because work is where the magic happens. Work is where the excitement happens. Work is where the action's going on, and work is where they want to be because they like what they do. They like the environment they're doing it in. And while they do want to go home and get the fuck away from screwdrivers at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, they're all human. They want to come to work to feel like they're a part of something. You got to figure out how to make that. And if you haven't figured out how to make that, you can't hide behind non-compete clauses. You can't hide behind firing people because they made $30 on the side to fix an iPhone screen so they could buy a ring for their girlfriend. You can't hide behind your own insecurity. You have to figure out how to come to terms with the fact that you are legitimately and honestly afraid of people who have far less experience and far less know-how, far less knowledge, and far less money than you. And I don't know how to do that. I can't do that for you. All I can do is tell you why, from my side, on my end, it's better to do things my way. I've experienced it. I've hired the people. I've watched them make money for themselves. I've watched them build things for themselves. And I've also watched my own business grow as a result of their good work.